Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Just a quick announcement, so go ahead and follow me on patreon.com/bow-and-arrow-tarot to be part of the draw for the Dreams of Gaio Tarot deck giveaway. This deck is going to be given away on August 15th by a random draw of all of my patrons over on Patreon. And all I ask for is just $1 a month donation from you all on that site to help me be able to get more of these tarot decks and oracle decks and do more unboxings and reviews and giveaways. All right. But for right now, thank you so much, and on to the video. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Bow and Arrow Tarot. Today we're going to be looking at the soulmate reading, the divine masculine, divine feminine reading for the sign of Libra. All right, we're going to get right into it, Libras, and get your two angel oracle cards out and see what's going on with you and your divine masculine or divine feminine soulmate this week. We have playfulness, recapture romance, allow your inner youthful spirit of fun to shine, time to enjoy yourself, right, Libra? And we have give your relationship a chance, work on your partnership, right? Let's get this to focus. Work on your partnership. A lot of people do forget that, and I'm not saying that you do this, you're guilty of this, but a lot of people forget that relationships require nurturing themselves, right? A lot of relationships that I've seen that were successful were with people who actually took time out for their relationship, did things simply for their relationship, things that they both enjoyed doing, that they knew as a couple strengthened them. At the bottom, we have very soon. So clearly decide what you want so that it comes to you now. It could be right now you're at a period where you're able to manifest certain goals, right? And dreams, wishes involving your soulmate. So let's see what this is all about, Libra. We're going to pull out your 7 cards and get right into your spread. We're going to pull out a main card for your relationship and 3 cards for your person, 3 cards for you, and to see what you guys are going to be dealing with this week. All relationships have ups and downs, and just because you are with your divine masculine or your divine feminine soulmate, you are, you're always going to have ups and downs, right? There's going to be times where you guys need to give your relationship a chance or work on certain issues, right? Move this over. So our first card out is 9 of Cups. So somebody is getting everything that they wish for, but they're still not quite that happy. You know, they still haven't kind of gotten that fulfillment that they really desire. You have Hermit card for your person. How they see you. They see you as the sun that brings clarity. How beautiful. And how they see the relationship, Moon. Wow. So we have 3 major arcana for your person in terms of how they see you, how they see the relationship. All right, so that's quite interesting. Now you present with the Death card for yourself. Wow, another major arcana. You see them as 6 of Wands, and you see the relationship as an Aries energy. Interesting. Wow, look at that. So we've got 5 major arcana, 2 minor, and another major arcana at the bottom, which is Judgment. And Judgment, of course, talks about letting go of guilt, letting go of judgment on your own, on yourself, right? Judgment we pass on ourselves, the guilt that we take on. Yeah, all of that, right? I mean, Judgment Day comes when you realize that you're a person, you're a human. Let me adjust my camera a little bit. You're a person just like everybody else, right? You make mistakes just like everyone else, and you know you can forgive yourself for it, right? All right, so we look at this spread with 9 of Cups, right? So let's get right into 9 of Cups. Interestingly enough, 9 of Cups is wish fulfillment. It's like this one little wish that you have. Sometimes somebody can be that wish for you, right? Or they can do things for you. That's the one little thing that you've been wanting for a really long time, right? But aside from that, like, interpretation of Nine of Cups. Nine of Cups also talks about kind of like getting a lot of your desires, but not really truly being happy. Not really getting the ultimate, right? You get a lot of your wishes fulfilled, but the true wish of really being close to someone, being really like deeply, and you know what I mean, and love and sharing with each other, sharing your life together, it still eludes this person. They're quite separated from their cups, right? They're sitting there quite proud of all of their achievements, and yet they're still kind of alone, right? They're sitting there alone. And so I think it just talks about a desire to be closer, a desire to come closer, a desire to make the most of this relationship, right? It could be that both of you have, you and Libra, you and your soulmate have realized that you both want to be close to each other. You want to be close with someone. You may have both lived these kind of charmed lives and always gotten everything you wanted, and then realized now that truly what you want is a real relationship that you can work on, and that this relationship with each other is quite perfect for that, because you guys are very well matched, right? You guys are soulmates. You know you're matched with well matched for each other. You know that you love each other. It's almost like you're coming together at the right time, I want to say, right? There's a lot of playfulness, and of course you decide, I think you both decide, like it's time to give this relationship a chance, right? But let's get into these cards. There's a lot of major arcana cards here, and so let's get right into it. Your person is identifying with Hermit energy. So they're really on a spiritual journey right now, right? Hermit, of course, is Virgo, or Virgo has been associated with the Hermit card. Again, it's another 9, right? And so here we talk about, again, solitude, loneliness. Not loneliness, but aloneness. The Hermit isn't lonely. He's alone for a reason, because he, in solitude, he's able to do the necessary shadow work, spiritual work on himself that he requires. He has the peace and the calm to be able to reflect, right? To think and to meditate, right? And to really get into himself, right? And learn what he needs to learn, right? You do that in solitude. And so your person is very much feeling like that right now. They're feeling like they're very much on a spiritual path, but they're aware of the fact that they are alone, right? That they are, or perhaps up until now, they've been alone. I want to say this might be a very new coming together. I want to say this is for Librans who very recently come together with their soulmate, or come together with someone who they believe is potentially their soulmate. Because this is a very young, new relationship in a lot of ways. There's a lot of playfulness and a lot of, need to kind of give this relationship a chance. You, of course, are identifying with death, right? So right now, you're coming out of a big transformation, Libra. And another reason why I think this might be a new relationship for a lot of you, you've just found this person. You know you want something with this person, right? But this is young and fresh. And you've just come out of a huge transformation. Could be that some of you have just come out of a long-term relationship. It could be that some of you have just moved, right? You've just moved from one city to the next, and bam, you ran into this person, and all of a sudden you're like, wow. You're kind of thrown a little bit as well, because I think for some of you, you're thrown, especially if this is, and like I said, this is why I believe this is a very young relationship, but I think some of you Librans are kind of thrown off here because you've gone through this great transformation. Had you not gone through this transformation and been where you were at when you were there, you probably would not have met this person, right? Because this person is very much on their kind of path, their spiritual path in life, and it's like you two have kind of come together in a very odd circumstance. You're in the middle of a full kind of physical, emotional, spiritual transformation that probably involved moving jobs, moving locations, etc. And they are on this kind of spiritual path, I think, where they haven't even had, their head wasn't even up looking for a relationship. Their head is like down in their work, in their shadow work. So here you're being very busy going through your change. They're being very busy going along their spiritual path. And somehow the two of you have come together almost like a head-on collision, I want to say. And yes, it's strange because you're both in really weird spaces. You almost feel like you're in a space where there is no room for a relationship. Interestingly enough, Nine of Cups talks about that. So now we go deeper into Nine of Cups, because part of Nine of Cups is, like I said, it's 9, right? It's Hermit. It's Hermit energy, and you see him sitting away from the cups, and what he realizes there is that you cannot, you have to give of yourself, right? You have to, like, make room for a real deep relationship in your life, right? You know, sometimes we go along our lives and we have like a lot of wishes fulfilled. We have a lot of abundance and good relationships. Cups aren't always just like love relationships, right? They're the things we desire being fulfilled. Cups are our desires, right? Sometimes our desires are relationships, but cups are desires. And so when you have a lot of cups, it's like you've had a lot of desires fulfilled. You've had a lot of things that you've gotten that you wanted, you got. But you have to actually make room in your life for a relationship, because a relationship is not just a thing that you get and then you put on a shelf with your other cups. A relationship is something that you have to make room for. And sometimes people who are busy kind of, you know, achieving all their little wishes and desires, and kind of, it's still a very singular solo kind of event. They haven't realized that one of the reasons sometimes their relationships don't come to fruition or don't manifest is because they simply have not made room in their lives for a relationship. You know, if you can't stop what you're doing and make time for somebody, then you don't have room for a relationship in your life. And a lot of people aren't willing to do that. They don't understand that. They feel like stopping what they're doing or changing their plans or compromising is somehow compromising, and it's bad. But, you know, and that you're somehow selling out or you're changing yourself. But, I mean, at the end of the day, if you don't make room for a relationship, if you don't make time for a relationship, how can you have one? Right? And so this is what we're talking about, you guys. It's like learning this, that, you know, you both are very much on your own path. But if you want to eventually get to a 10 of Cups, you have to learn how to make room for people in your lives. Your Hermit sees you as the sun. So more clarity. This is the second 9 in the major arcana. The first 9 is the Hermit. Interesting. They see themselves as the first 9. They see you as the second 9. Also a bit of a loner, but a loner who has a lot of friends, who's very sociable, who's out and about, right? This is very fiery energy. I want to say this is also kind of Leo energy, right? The sun. However, the sun energy can also still be, you know, it's that person who's famous. They still feel alone in the spotlight. They can still feel quite alone. They can feel quite alone because of their uniqueness, right? And so 19 is quite interesting. They see you as this really like beautiful person who brings clarity to their lives, right? But I think they also empathize with you, or they sort of relate to you, because you Libras are very sociable, but they can also be very unique kind of, in a very weird way, loners. Right? Librans can easily be loners. I've met a lot of Libras who were kind of loners. It was almost like they were on the other extreme of their sign. Now, this is not to say that you're a loner Libra, but this is to say that you have tinges of that. You have tinges of that uniqueness that keeps you separate from others. And this person, your person sees that, and they can identify with that because they themselves are a bit of a loner. They themselves walk a path that is quite unique and without many who walk with them. And I think that's what's drawn them to you, you know, this clarity that you bring with the sun. Now, how do you see your partner or your person? You see them as the 6 of Wands. You see them as winning, successful, you know, successful in harmony. You know, the 6 talks about harmony. 6 is the number for harmony, moving towards harmony, being harmonious in all things you do, deciding to take a journey towards harmony in your life and move away from strife. So you see them as very peaceful. You see them as someone who's generally harmonious, someone who walks a very peaceful life path. And lives a very peaceful life, and that things come to them, right? You see that things come to them because of the way they live, right? And you admire that. I think you very much admire that, Libra. I think you like it, you enjoy it. It may be something you're not used to because you're coming out of something very different. Some of you may be coming out of a relationship that was 180 degrees with a totally different person. But you like that about them. You like that quiet kind of spiritual wisdom that they have that makes them so easy in life. They seem to have an ease with life that makes them always kind of win. Six of Wands is victory card, right? And so when if you see your person as like that victory card, but victory in spirit, because it's Wands, then you can, it's that feeling of like, wow, they really know what they're doing. And so you guys have this really deep kind of like affection for who you are at your core. So your person has a very deep affection for who you are at your core, and you have quite a deep affection for them, who they are at their core. It's just that you've come together at a very odd, awkward time in your lives where you're both kind of very much on your own path. And it seems like there isn't room for a relationship yet. You're starting to think about making room, starting to think about giving this relationship a chance. Your person sees the relationship as moon energy, so they're not sure. They're not convinced. They're not sure about it. They're not sure about, where this is heading. They see they see clarity in your eyes, but they're not sure of your intentions with them, right? Or your intentions with the relationship, or how they fit in with you. Again, you guys have come together at really odd, times in each other's lives. There's a playfulness there as well with you, Libra, that perhaps your person isn't sure of. And it's just throwing them off a little, right? Playfulness that I want to say they're not used to, perhaps. How do you see the relationship? Interestingly enough, you see the relationship as Emperor energy, Aries energy. You see it as something quite stable and new and powerful. Right? You see that this relationship could be a real vehicle for stability in your life. I think that you see that this person could be a bit of a teacher to you, could help you, support you, right? I think you see that in them and you enjoy that. You see that in the relationship as well. I think you see stability in this relationship more than anything. Stability and learning something new. That Aries energy, Aries Emperor energy. 4 is the number for stability. And as much as Aries is called very impetuous and childlike, there is a stability there with the Emperor, of course, with that fiery energy. And of course, that's how you see your person. I mean, that's how at least you see this relationship, right? And when you see, like earlier what I was saying with the Six of Wands, you see your person as someone who's like, they win at life, they're sure about life, they're confident because of the spiritual growth that they've done. No, you naturally feel that this relationship with them is one of strength and stability for you and can help you. And so you desire it, right? But they're unsure. And if they're coming across with moon energy, then what is required here is for you to truly express yourself to them and talk with them and let them know how you feel. There is a feeling of judgment here. So it could be, maybe Libra, you are afraid, or I don't want to say afraid, but maybe you're uneasy about telling this person everything because they're coming across as being quite pious. And yet here's judgment at the bottom of the deck. So are you feeling bad about something perhaps, or guilty or ashamed of something that you really don't need to feel ashamed about? None of us really should feel ashamed of anything, but of course it's natural and that happens. But I think there is an air here, Libra, of you being a bit shy to show them who you truly are. A bit worried that maybe you will incur their judgment. But the only thing that's happening as a result of this kind of way of acting with them is that you're causing them to be unsure about the relationship. Because they're thinking, moon energy, they're thinking the worst, I don't know what's going on with my Libra. They won't tell me. I know something is going on. This person is very intuitive and highly spiritual, so they know something is going on. So you're not going to be able to keep it, right? And I'm not saying this is definite. This will not resonate with all of you. But for some of you, that stability that you crave and this spiritual kind of developed individual that you really enjoy being with, right? Some of you are a little bit ashamed perhaps to be completely 100% of who you are and where you've been and what you've done in the past. But you really need to, because otherwise your person is going to continue to be going down the road of moon energy. And that's deception. That's feeling like they're being deceived, right? That's feeling like they're not getting the whole picture. And that can ruin a relationship. That can ruin an otherwise good relationship, especially if it's all just come down to low self-esteem or bad communication. And there was nothing really there for them to be so worried about, right? But it's just because one of us is too afraid to tell the other one that you love them. You know, people are so afraid to tell people that they care about them anymore these days, you know. It seems to be a sign of weakness to tell somebody that you might be falling in love with them or that you might care about them. All right, I'm going to get out your 3 cards, Libra, and then we're going to call it. What's the purpose of this reading? What's the upshot? The upshot is that for some of you, if you're starting off with this person, right, and it feels like they're not drawing closer, okay, but you want them to. It could be that they are unsure of what your intentions are. They have feelings for you. Yes, they do have feelings for you. Yes, they do desire you. But they're unsure of the relationship, and it just could be that you haven't made time for them to really express how you feel and to make sure that they know how you feel. So again, that's all about give your relationship a chance. Giving your relationship a chance doesn't mean just sitting back and waiting for it to develop. You know, giving it a chance to develop. It means give it a chance, like, as well. Like, give it some time and sit back, but also give it your all. Tell the person how you feel. You know, give it a real chance. You know, communicate with your person. Let them know that you know, that you see them as a source of stability. You may be surprised in the fact that they're surprised that you see them that way. Remain playful, of course, but it could be that there's been too much playfulness, right? And so it's time for you to really get a little bit more serious, especially if you want this relationship to get serious, right? If it hasn't already. For some of you, it is, again, a young relationship, a new relationship, and so maybe it hasn't gotten that serious yet. But if you want it to, it's time to veer away from the playfulness and move towards, you know, being a real couple, right? And talking about real things, real emotions. Not being too playful. Playfulness is always good, but simply not too much. We have 8 of Cups, King of Cups, and King of Wands. Wow. All right, so 8 of Cups talks exactly about that. Putting boundaries in place, criteria, right? Standards, letting somebody know what you require in a love relationship, right? Letting them know what you need and what you can bring. What you can bring to the table and as a result of what they're giving you, right? 8 of Cups talks about a desire to go to deeper love, you know, deeper kind of, I want to say deeper engagement of love, right? A deeper engagement or communication. I'm trying to get this to focus. I hope it's focusing. All right, there we go. Right? So it's beautiful energy, certainly, but it is a decision that's been made, you know. When 8 of Cups, it means that you've decided to, like, move towards deeper waters with people. And that's beautiful, but that also implies communicating more. The King of Cups is beautiful. King of Cups comes in, he knows what he wants, right? And he goes after it. And I think that this might be important for you to embody this kind of energy with your hermit. I think your hermit really would love for you to kind of really reach out and grab them and let them know how you feel. Go after them, right? They require you to kind of like, because they're on this kind of, Libra, you're the air energy, right? You're the outgoing one to begin with, but your person is already on kind of a, you know, or at least they were before you came along on the spiritual path. And so, you know, it only makes sense that it requires for you to be the King of Cups. For you to let them know that you care and that you know, the King of Cups goes after the lover, then protects the lover. King of Cups can be quite possessive at times and jealous, but for the most part, the King of Cups is that family man. He wants his lover close. He wants his family close. He will let you know how he feels about you. You know, he comes after you. right? He has a desire for you, a real desire, fascination even, is, you know, King of Cups is Scorpio energy. So, you know, and that's what you're embodying, you know, and it's good. It needs to be embodied in the sense that you may be the one to have to really go after your person here. King of Wands is out. So somebody's being extremely ambitious as well. It could be that your person is representing as King of Wands in the sense that they are very ambitious. They desire to like get ahead in the world. They desire to make a, you know, and the King of Wands can be also like when you're ambitious spiritually. Your person may be very ambitious spiritually, right? They may be a preacher. They may be a pastor. They may be a spiritual leader of some sort, or a faith healer of some kind, right? It could be that, you know, that hermit energy is the energy they use as part of their work in terms of healing, right? So you could be dealing with somebody like that, okay? And again, so that work is their life, right? And so with somebody like that, they require you to really come out and let them know what your intentions are. Right? Because they're already in a gray zone with a lot of people in terms of being their healer, their confidant, their this, their that. If you truly desire something serious and meaningful, like a soulmate connection, right? A bond, a long-term relationship bond, a monogamous bond, all of these things are things that you need to discuss with this person. Because if they are a King of Wands in that spiritual realm, right? Then they're very open-minded, and you may be thinking you're dating, you know, solo, and they're not, you know, or you may be thinking you're monogamous and they're monogamous and they're not, because there are such they're almost like a professional, like free spirit, right? A professional hippie, I want to say, right? It could be that their lifestyle, their lessons, what they're into, they could be a Reiki master, they could be some kind of spiritual teacher or healer, like I said. But again, these type, you know, that type of energy generally, when they are truly talented in that realm and from the heart, then they will not have a lot of jealousy or envy. Oftentimes these people don't have monogamous relationships, people who are in those type of fields, because of the nature of the field. They're really thinking about humanity and life as an expansion rather than a constriction. So again, for those of you who are dealing with someone who's almost like a professional spiritual guide or healer or something, you're going to have to come right out and be really direct with them about what kind of relationship you want with them. Because they have all different levels and kinds of relationships with all different kinds of people. You know? And what you may think is obvious is not necessarily obvious to this person in terms of relating to people, because they relate on a whole different level. All right? All right, this is your reading, Libra. This is your divine feminine, divine masculine reading for the week of August 6th to the 13th. If this resonated with you, please like, subscribe, and share. You know what we do. Help me grow my channel. Check out the weekly readings. They're all up for the 12 signs as well, Libra. Yours took a couple days because it wouldn't upload, so I filmed it twice, and yours is definitely up by the time this video is up. But for right now, I'm just going to say I love you, Libras. You certainly are one of my favorite signs. You guys have a wonderful week, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.